If you want up to 15 free stocks, Moo is going to give you up to 15 free stocks. When you deposit $100 in your Moo brokerage account, they're going to give you 5 free stocks. If you deposit $1,000 in your Moo account, they're going to give you 15 free stocks. There's a link down in the description box of this video. Go click on that Moo link. Open up your new Moo account today. Go get that free stock. Go get that free money. Assets frees you. You take back your financial power when you have assets. The 1% knows that. That's why they don't want you to get no assets. That's why they don't teach you anything about how to acquire assets when you're in school. They don't teach you about acquiring assets in elementary. They don't teach you about acquiring assets in middle school. They don't teach you about acquiring assets in high school. They do not teach you about acquiring assets in college. I don't care how high you want to go. You can go all the way to your PhD. They do not teach you about acquiring assets. Why is that? Because they don't want you to know how to acquire them, guys. They want you to own nothing. They want you to be dependent on them. But we're going to change that with this wealth transfer blueprint, right? We're going to take this $100. We're going to start out $100. Some of y'all might say, well, golly, man, what can I buy with $100? What can I invest in with $100? I can't buy no real estate with $100. Oh, yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. You can buy real estate assets with $100. You certainly can. Well, what do you mean? I can't buy a property and put a tenant in it with $100. No, you can't buy a property and put a tenant in it with $100. But what you can do is you can buy a real estate ETF. And the ETF itself has companies in it that own the real estate. And guess what? You own a share in those companies. So therefore, you are an owner of real estate. You just don't manage the tenants and the toilets. But you can get into a real estate ETF. Vanguard has a great one called Vanguard Real Estate ETF VNQ. Has some of the largest real estate investment trust companies in the world in it. Yeah. Companies like Simon Property Group, who owns probably most of your big malls in the United States. They own them. Can do a lot, guys, with $100. Let me tell you what else you can do. You can buy the S&P 500 ETF that tracks the S&P 500 index. You do know what that is, right? Because I've been talking about it every day. You're in the big leagues. See, you're in the big leagues when you start investing your money into the S&P 500. You are in the big leagues. You are in a 20% 2023 multiplier of money. Right? 20% ROI last year in the S&P 500 index, guys. So if I put my $100 in there consistently every single month for 12 months, I'd have had a 20% ROI on that money. Don't seem like a lot, but you got to understand, guys, it's compounding every single month. So the $100 I put in last month compounds on the $100 I put in this month, so on and so forth. It just keeps compounding and growing and growing and growing. The dividends are reinvested back into growing and growing. That's one of the most powerful investments you can make, guys, into the S&P 500, whether you know it or not. So that little $100 carries a big stick. You do that for 10 years. It carries a big stick. 10 years worth of compounding. 10 years worth of multiplying. Guys, I'm telling you, it's powerful. Do not discount $100. $100 will change your life forever. $150 every 2 weeks changed my life forever. It changed my life, guys. It got my filter system right. See, because once I started putting that 150 in and I started to see it grow, guess what my mental started doing? my mental started saying, oh my goodness, what if I put 300 in? Then my mental said, oh, what if you put 500 in? Oh, what if you put 1,000 in? See, I started changing my behavior with money. I started becoming an investor, not a consumer. I was an investor. It's a difference. See, when I'm an investor, my filter system thinks about assets. When I'm a consumer, my filter system only thinks about liabilities and crap to make other people wealthy. That's how it works. As I become an investor and I transition out of being a consumer and into an investor, my whole process of the way I think about money changes. It changes. It changed for me. Because once I started making that transition from consumer, where I was just buying liabilities and I was spending my money to make other people wealthy, AKA the 1%, once I start making that transition mentally, cleaning out the filter system, reprogramming the filter system, I started transitioning from a consumer into an investor. My whole world changed. Now, all I thought about was making money, taking that money and investing it to build assets. That's how I increased my skill sets. That's how I started side hustles. I'd have never started side hustles, or I would have never had the ambition to increase my skill set to make myself more valuable to the marketplace had I stayed a consumer. I wouldn't have. See, when I'm a consumer and that's all I worry about are things, my ambition to become free diminishes. My ambition to have more things increases. My ambition to be free decreases. My ambition to own more things increase. That's where the 1% wants you. That's why they love you guys as consumers, because your ambition is not to be free. Your ambition is to acquire more things that you buy from them to make them more wealthy. So you have to reprogram your filter system. Right now, your filter system is set on consumerism. Guys, if all you think about are things, you'll always be under the thumb of the 1%. They will control you. No one controls me. I control myself. They control you, man. Because if you miss one paycheck, your whole financial life is ruined. So who's controlling who? See, if I'm in control, I got an emergency fund, I got no consumer debt, I got retirement savings, I got assets, if I'm in control. If I'm not in control, I have none of those things. I'm living paycheck to paycheck, I got credit card debt, right? I live on more than what I make. Who controls who? 1% controls you. They control you. When you're in debt, consumer debt, you have no emergency fund. You're living paycheck to paycheck. You're living on more than what you make. You ain't in control. You may think you're in control, but you're not. The 1% is in control. So the only way you take that control back is you got to come from being a consumer, and you have to shift your mindset to that of an investor. If you want up to 15 free stocks, Moomoo is going to give you up to 15 free stocks. When you deposit $100 in your Moomoo brokerage account, they're going to give you 5 free stocks. If you deposit $1,000 in your Moomoo account, they're going to give you 15 free stocks. There's a link down in the description box of this video. Go click on that Moomoo link. Open up your new Moomoo account today. Go get that free stock. Go get that free money.